citizens of Africa, fellow citizens, fellow citizens, fellow citizens of Africa, of Africa, fellow citizens, fellow citizens, of Africa, of Africa, of Africa.
Blogging since 2003, hitting the left, the right, the center, black, white, red and yellow, loved by some, claimed by many, coming straight from New Jersey, via New York, via Jamaica, via a ship named Jesus, it's Sanjata, Mr. Ola Tunji! Welcome to Garvey's Ghost TV, May 24th, 2010. In the news, Rudy Giuliani, insane or something else? 2 weeks ago, Rudy Giuliani spoke on This Week with Jake Tapper, where he inexplicably broke out into laughter.
More could have been done after that.
We have now discovered that Giuliani was, in fact, practicing for his role as the new Joker, replacing the deceased Heath Ledger in the new upcoming Batman movie. In political news, Sarah Palin has angered the Tea Party. Tea Party activists have been disappointed with Sarah Palin. One of the things is her latest was announcing that Africa was a country. But what put Tea Party activists over the top was her appearance at a Black Panther rally where she announced, "You betcha, Africa will be a country. Free the land." In Detroit, there was a police shooting of a young girl. The Detroit police shot and killed Ayanna Jones, claiming that the shooting was a result of the girl's grandmother struggling with the officer's gun. The lawyer for the family points to video that shows that the officer, in fact, shot through the window from the outside of the residence. The police later modified their story to indicate that the grandmother was, in fact, the character Nightcrawler from the X-Men and had teleported in front of the officer's gun. Rand Paul is the replacement for Republicans. Last week, Rand Paul demonstrated his deep knowledge of U.S. history. First, he claimed that individual businesses in America and their business interests for profit would overcome discrimination. Never mind that during such events as the Montgomery boycott, where the bus companies were losing massive amounts of money because blacks were the primary users of their buses, still discriminated against blacks for almost a year. Next, Rand Paul said that Obama's statements about BP were un-American. Obama was quoted as allegedly saying that he'll have his boot on BP. Never mind that saying things against the British is what led America to being established as a republic. Speaking of BP, we have a rundown of this oil spill. It's been going on for a month. First, BP fails to put the top hat onto the pipe because someone in engineering failed to do a simulation of what it would be like a mile down. In fact, we found out that they only test in waters in blow-up pools. Next, they put a 4-inch diameter tube into a 21-inch diameter pipe and claim to be diverting much of the oil. How much is much? 30%. Lastly, the federal government has asked BP to stop using chemical dispersants it has been using because it's known to be poisonous. How long has this been known? 20 years. 20 years. It's the first thing they decided to use. What have the engineers at BP been doing for the past 20 years? Perhaps we should see who the head of BP Engineering is. In education news, the Texas School Board has decided on a number of changes to the school curriculum. Among these, the Texas School Board has decided to rename capitalism as free enterprise. We think that they are onto something, since of course the early American capitalists were down with free trade. Texas also decided to discuss the slave trade as the Atlantic Triangle trade. We actually agree with this. We note that the slave trade portion of the triangle trade is in fact an accurate description. As I discussed in the slavery edition of Garvey's Ghost TV, there was in fact a triangle trade, though I would prefer to call it the quadrangle trade. As you can see, we had bodies taken from Africa to the Americas, Caribbean for seasoning and sorting out, then shipped up to Americas of South Carolina. Sometimes they went directly to South Carolina, then up to the north where they got rum and all that kind of stuff, which was then shipped off to Europe, England, traded for other stuff like guns, and then brought back to Africa. That's why the slave trade portion is a portion of the Atlantic slave trade, and why understanding the whole entire thing will have us not have repeats of Skip Gates editorials in the New York Times. I'm Mr. Tunji. This has been Garvey's Ghost TV, May 24th, 2010. Ting and ting and ting.